Joined by Mohammed Shafiq, the Chief Executive of the Ramadan Foundation, on the phone from Manchester. Many thanks for being with us, Mohammed. How would you assess Netanyahu's trip?
Well, I think what we've got to recognise is that there's got to be a real detailed debate in the international community to see whether the Israelis are really partners for peace or just playing for time. And I suspect that the Israelis have been taken aback by President Obama's commitment to the Middle East peace process and to ensure that the Palestinians have a viable state where they can live their lives in peace and tolerance. And that's what the Palestinian people want. That's what I suspect the Israeli people want. And that's what the international community should be working towards.
Yeah, I mean, some analysts have been saying that the European charm offensive, as they call it, is just a big delaying tactic on Netanyahu's part. Would you agree with that assessment?
Well, I mean, I think it is. I mean, we hear that there is a commitment now to stop all new settlements, but they've been building settlements for the past 20 years. And I think what we've got now is on the table, we've got a significant if the Israelis move back to the 1967 borders, that there is a viable opportunity there to discuss peace. And I think people have to be committed to the fact that the violence is not the solution, and on all sides they've got to commit to a political settlement, a peaceful solution that will build lasting change in the region for everybody. But the Israelis will be responsible for their actions. And at the moment, their actions tell us that they're not really interested in peace, and I hope that changes.
Yeah, I mean, of course, you talked just moments ago about Barack Obama's strategy and how that the Israeli side has been taken aback by it. I mean, German Chancellor Angela Merkel, she said today that time is of the essence. Is it? I mean, are world leaders really putting their foot down here, do you think?
Well, I think they can put a lot more pressure on. For example, George H.W. Bush, the former president's father, when he was president, he cut off the funding. So if they want the Israelis to comply with international law and Security Council resolutions, then they can do that. But I suspect that the international community is not very keen to push Israel for whatever reasons. And I think we've got to push Israel to make sure that the Palestinians are free from occupation, that there is an end to the siege mentality in Gaza and the West Bank, and that the Palestinians are free to choose their governments and choose the way they live their lives.
Yeah, on the settlements issue, Mohammed, I mean, there are reports that the United States government has agreed to Israel's request to remove East Jerusalem from negotiations on the settlement freeze if and when it happens, and we've had both Israeli officials and Western diplomats say that the US is likely to agree that it will neither endorse new construction there nor demand that Israel publicly announces a freeze. If that does happen, what would it show us?
It will show that the international community is not serious about tackling these issues. Jerusalem is sacred for Muslims, it's sacred for Christians, and it's sacred for Jews. And we've got to respect that, and we've got to ensure that where there is them sort of policy changes, that the international community recognises that Israel must be held responsible for its actions, and to ensure that Jerusalem is the capital of all three faiths, and all three faiths should be free to practice their faith in that great city.